On August 6, 1986, the original Metroid released on the Famicom Disk System. In November 1991, Metroid 2, The Return of Samus was released. And on August 6, 2016, another Metroid 2 remake was finished and released. For the 30th anniversary of Metroid, dear viewers, we're going to play Metroid 2 Remake. You may remember about 2 years ago, I played the demo of this, and it's fantastic. The people behind this, headed up by Dr. M64, have done an awesome job. I'm going to do one quick tweaking here. There we go. I'll make sure you guys can still hear this in editing, but it's really loud in my ears, even with that far down. So, I've been playing the game pretty frequently since it came out. I went ahead and erased pretty much every file, just so you don't have too much of a forewarning of what's going on in the game. For those of you who don't know the story, well, the game's going to explain a little bit. And I will be playing on hard. Even though I have not completed the game on hard myself, I played a little bit, and it's not as hard as I thought it would be. I'll explain as we get in. So, we have this little introduction into what Metroids are. Namely, they're awful life-sucking jellyfish of space. And the Galactic Federation, being like the main congregation of humanity, fears that the Metroids could be used to basically just take over the entire galaxy. But, you know, nefarious types. Say, those space pirates that had them back in Metroid 1. So, we hire Samus. He's already been dealing with Metroids for a long time. Very, very long time kind of thing. But the Metroid timeline is interesting in that all the Prime games have taken place before this, as well as, of course, the original Metroid, and there are a lot of times that she has come into contact with Metroids. And, hey, who better to send to exterminate them, all aliens style, than the one lady who's fought with them the most? So, here on hard mode, we are on hard, right? Because that didn't... Ah, there we go, yep, we're on hard. Okay, cool, we're good. I was a little worried that the game's going to take it too easy on me. Or I was going to take it too easy on myself. The enemy behaviors are a little changed. Namely, they're more aggressive. So, those drill-nosed fly things actually swoop in and dive at you on hard. I believe things also have double the health and deal double the damage. Or you have half the defense, however you want to think of it. So that's already a problem. Samus comes equipped with 30 missiles and Morph Ball. And Long Beam S is standard for every game other than the original Metroid. The Long Beam, not the missiles on all the others. But yeah, this takes place just before Super Metroid, which you guys have seen on my channel a couple of times, and not just after the original Metroid. I guess the nearest timeline might be Prime 3 or Prime Hunters. I forget which one happens last between those two. Mostly because I never played either. I didn't really care for Prime 3's controls, and the original Prime Hunters demo that they put out with the original DS doesn't lead me to have high hopes for how Metroid Prime Hunters gameplay would be. And here we have our first introduction to what Metroids really are. Oh, I almost had it in a wombo combo. Dick. So, Metroids in this are going to be much tougher than they are on normal. See, that guy actually did quite a bit of damage to me. He only hit me like 3 or 4 times, too. That, ladies and gentlemen, was an Alpha Metroid. And they... well, they're cool. In a couple of different ways. In fact, we have logs that will not destroy, yeah. Explain. So, the Metroids that we've seen throughout all the games before now, that's just their larval state. So, yeah, they're the dominant species of SR-388, which just a very heavy reference to the Aliens series, which, you know, that's cool. We need to, whoa, that is not the right button to push those menus. We need to come in here to SR-388, and we're on a genocide mission. The general life cycle of a Metroid is, it starts in that larval state where it's weak to cold, and you treat it like a door. You just blast it with missiles once you've frozen it. They lose that weakness to ice, but also gain a weakness to concussive blasts without being frozen once they begin going through their life cycle to become adults. I have done it again. So the Alpha Metroid, yeah, has gained immunity to cold at the loss of several nuclei, making the green membrane vulnerable. However, it's got a plating exoskeleton on top, so that will repel any missiles or any other shots. Beams don't work. And, well, they're kind of a problem. You saw how that one fought back pretty well. Also, if you're playing on normal, Metroids give drops when you kill them. Just, you know, refill your energy and missiles. They don't seem to do this in hard. So, yay, fun. Totally not going to get wrecked or anything. No, I'm going to try my best. A big difference between this game's hard and, say, Zero Mission's hard is that not only do we have the differences in health and defense, you know, things taking half as much damage from us while dealing double to us, the pickups are reduced in their effectiveness. So in Zero Mission, missile tanks, instead of 5, were 2 or 3. I think they were only 2. They do that here. And then other pickups were worth less as well. Namely, you know what, I should start using missiles and things. Kill them faster. The energy tanks in Zero Mission Hard only gave you 50 to your maximum energy. That is not the case here, and I am very thankful for it. That's the main reason why I decided that I would record hard as opposed to normal. Because I may have a chance. Wow! See that guy? Did you see how he dove at me? They don't do that on normal! I believe I was just close enough for it to try that. But yeah, on normal, those pink flapjack monsters like to just go up and down, and that's it. On hard, they will try to swoop in on you after they jump. That's, you know, that's a significant change, especially if you're used to how they fight normally. You're just like, oh, whatever, I can ignore these things. They aren't anything big. Next thing you know, you've got one trying to slap down on your face and deal significant damage. I'm just going to wall jump up here rather than deal with all those blue wall crawling things. These guys normally only take 1 beam shot to kill, but here on hard you can see they take 2. Which is why you may want to just use missiles anyway. Missiles have been given quite the upgrade from other Metroid games, because they do multiple hits. You can kind of hear when I hit something, you hear it go, That's the best imitation of any of these things you're going to get out of me. That indicates we're hitting multiple times, like, say, a fighting game's uppercut. Ken and Ryu Shoryukens, they have multiple hits to them. So do your missiles. And they, more importantly, have a blast radius, so even if I don't get direct hits, I can still deal damage. Now I'm just shooting missiles willy-nilly because the save points will give you all of your energy, all your missiles, and all your other things back. So, yeah, I'm pretty okay with just showing them off a little bit. Missile tanks, only 2. Normally it's 5. And normal, the maximums, I believe, are like 10 energy tanks and 250 missiles, and, well, spoilers, you get super missiles and power bombs, similar to how they modernize Zero Mission's Metroid Remake 1 the remake of Metroid 1 by giving them super missiles, power bombs, and gravity suit. They do a bit of that here too, even though they weren't in the original Metroid 2. But some things are. I really meant to jump, rather than just, like, look down at my doom and fall into it. It's okay, though. I love being able to do that. For those of you who haven't played, I shot this, which caused the block to go up, and now we get our first energy tank, effectively doubling our health and survivability. It's as though I got the Varia suit, only it takes more energy pellets to fill it back up if I were to lose most of them. You know, almost as good. Whoa. I kind of want these missiles, but they're always so far out of the way. Especially if I keep just, like, missing my targets and shooting the floor right next to me. Poor bastard. Why? Okay, so why would there be bomb blocks here? And then, what is this? You can't seem to affect it by using bombs or rolling into it. And then behind those bomb blocks, hidden passage with a door that's locked. Remember this for later. It'll be... I don't really want to call it important. Unless you're going for 100%, then yeah, absolutely 100% important. Odd the way that works, right? If you want everything, you have to remember where everything is. Even if it seems inconsequential. Charge Beam, not as useful as it is in other games. I'm just gonna break it to you guys right now. I don't use the Charge Beam in this game very much, but I use it all the time in, say, Super Metroid. It's good, but it could be better. I don't know, I feel like missiles are just more effective. And then even when you have other things that make missiles kind of unimportant, you can just shoot your normal beam so fast. Like, I'm not using a turbo controller, this is just me hammering my square button. If you're playing a 360 controller, which I kind of don't see a reason why you wouldn't, unless you just don't have any, like me, or really don't like them, like me. You can just shoot normal beams so fast. Why would you bother the time to charge unless you know, have other reasons, like wanting to pull power-ups to you? It's another nifty little modernization they did. Brought in the Metroid Prime effect of the charge beam to pull in normal drops to you, so, you know, you can actually get them without having to run everywhere. Missiles hidden there. More missiles up here, clearly obvious how to get to them. And those down there. Now what is not obvious, if you look at the map, you can see that the rune says it continues, but we're at a wall. Well, that's a very Metroid thing of them to do, to try and hide things like that. And you're probably supposed to do some fancy bomb jumping to get up to there, but no thanks. Ooh, that looks nifty. I want it. I don't have it, but I want it. Another thing they did, when you turn, you can see that the morph ball has kind of the prime look to it, and that it's got that central glowy ribbon that you can kind of see through normally. Just, you know, fun things you notice that they did. Another fun thing they did is they brought in this from Super Metroid. Yeah! What they also did that you may not find out about, hold down a line of bombs straight up. That's so cool. Not always effective, like kind of like how the power bomb charge beam effects in Super Metroid were really limited in their usefulness, but they were just so cool you couldn't help but love them. That's how I feel the charge beam bomb things in this game are. I believe there's another one that, in theory, we could do, but man, it's hard to do without getting a way to keep in the air longer. So this is a sort of a sequence lock. You have to shoot all three of those things in rapid succession, and they have different timers on them for how long they will stay activated. Right is longest, then left, and then middle. Middle will almost immediately deactivate, so save it for last. And for doing this, we get ourselves another energy tank. So, we could have been really fancy in our platforming and, you know, not gone through the front door of the temple here. In fact, did we get we probably got a scan. Yeah, the Golden Temple. We'll go ahead and look at these real fast. Just, you know, in case you want to read them. I'm not going to sit here and read it all to you. I'll just slowly scroll through so you can. Aha! I pushed the right button this time! I fully expected myself to exit back out of these menus. Oh yeah, the native hostilities. I like how this brings up how SR388 is basically just full of awful carnivores that want to kill everything around them. Yet, to be fair, they always seem to just attack Samus. Anyway, we'll read those another time. That's enough sitting around looking at logs for a moment. So, what I was saying is we could have been really fancy and been all like, well, I can just wall jump up this whole stupid thing and not go through the front door. I'm going to tell you right now, that's not the best idea. I would know, I've done it. The first time I played, I totally just was like, hey, let's just like jump up over this thing and go get the cool stuff. Well, that makes you skip bombs, and then you have a really hard time getting to a lot of things because you don't have bombs, and a lot of walls need bombs. Anyway, now we come back down, and we're on the other side of the door that we could have gone through originally. Whoa, that was close. I saw that Metroid husk up there, but I don't really have a good way to climb walls. Because, you know, in theory, you're not supposed to be able to just wall jump like this all the time. If you know about it and are moderately practicing wall jumping, sure. But you're really supposed to come over here and get the spider ball. So you don't need it to get around all the time. But say you couldn't wall jump up here. Like, you just aren't that good at wall jumping. Spider ball takes care of that problem. More importantly, let's say you wanted to explore the area and you didn't want to have to, like, oh, you know, wall jump up all the walls and then reach a ceiling you couldn't get around. Spider Ball takes care of that problem too. It's pretty handy. Until you get, like Space Jump, which is also introduced in Metroid 2. Only 44 missiles for another alpha. Ah, shoot. Ha! Gotcha! You see, sometimes they're not so bad. Sometimes they get stuck in a awful missile loop and... Oh man, come on. There we go. And you can just keep hitting them and they can't do a thing about it. It's not always the case.